increase. That's nearly $1 million in an increase for CHIPS funding for local road maintenance for the city of Buffalo. We restored a cut that the administration had put forward in its executive budget of $65 million to extreme winter recovery funds, and actually added to that 35%. So an over 50% increase in extreme winter recovery funds. And we know how important those funds are here to the city of Buffalo, and again, other upstate communities that deal with the inclement weather and the freeze in the winter and the thaw in the spring. The city of Buffalo is going to see a nearly $100 million increase there, $961,000 to be exact. And then the Pave New York program, where we increased it 50%, the city of Buffalo, again, we'll see a 50% increase there, which amounts to about $500,000 in that program. And so all told, the city of Buffalo, given all of those programs, would have seen a 30% increase. I believe a big victory, totaling nearly $2 million in those categories. When all in the past, the state had seen about a $5 million investment in city roads on a year-to-year basis. But we went further because it was essential to do something different this year. And this is something that has really been digging at me, the mayor, and other local leaders, that the city of Buffalo tax base over many decades has declined. And we're seeing this new momentum under Mayor Brown's leadership here in the city of Buffalo, where we're getting new businesses coming in. We're seeing new investment coming in. But the infrastructure funding hadn't been there in years past. Well, this year, we started the City Touring Routes Initiative, focused specifically on cities like Buffalo, where they can invest into the infrastructure surrounding these businesses and investments that are happening to continue to maintain and promote the momentum that has been created. That being said, this $100 million investment across New York State will result in a nearly $9 million investment right here in the city of Buffalo. So all in, the city of Buffalo is going to receive over $16 million in total from New York State, specifically for the local roads in the city of Buffalo. That will result in a nearly tripling of the amount of money that New York State is giving to the city of Buffalo specifically for their infrastructure, as has been given in years past. So this is a tremendous victory for the city of Buffalo, for our residents, and for the local community leaders and businesses that have invested over so many years and have continued to be the anchor for Western New York's economy. So we're very excited about this. This is going to help those that use the roads, both those driving, those bicyclists and pedestrians. Everyone is going to benefit from these initiatives being funded to the level that they rightfully deserve, and that the taxpayers across New York State and in the city of Buffalo and Western New York rightfully deserve. So with that said, I'd like to introduce our great leader and champion for the city of Buffalo, Mayor Byron Brown, who has been a friend of ours, but has been a leader, especially when it comes to these local projects. You know, we need his leadership to help leverage the funding at the state level and ultimately at the federal level as well. And all of these programs are going to help to feed into what we hope will be a multi-trillion level investment from the federal government through the Biden administration and Congress that they're deliberating now. So without further ado, Mayor Byron Brown, thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Kennedy, and thank you for your great work in Albany during this most recent state budget that was passed, being able to deliver nearly an additional $11 million for road and infrastructure repair annually for the city of Buffalo. Senator Kennedy mentioned that there hasn't been an increase in these funds in the state budget since 2013. So this increase, when there are such pressing infrastructure needs and road repair needs in Buffalo and communities all across New York State, is particularly significant. Certainly, we are very thankful and very grateful for your role as chair of the Senate Transportation Committee. And as chair of Senate Transportation and Infrastructure, you have delivered in tremendous fashion for the city of Buffalo, but for communities all across the state of New York, and we thank you for that. We're on the corner today of East Ferry and Main Street, and I want to just list one of the projects, Senator Kennedy, that we will tackle with this additional money that you are providing to the city of Buffalo. Just down East Ferry is the nationally and internationally recognized Freedom Wall. And the Freedom Wall highlights African American history and heritage. There is a need for street repair around the Freedom Wall. That is one of the projects that we will be able to fund with this nearly $11 million in additional street repair and infrastructure money that you are providing to the city of Buffalo, Senator Kennedy. Again, I want to just recognize during the course of the budget negotiations and the budget process in Albany this year, Senator Kennedy was in constant communication with me and my office, giving us updates about the negotiations and letting us know how hard he was pushing for this additional money to come to Buffalo. So during the course of the budget negotiations and budget process in Albany, Senator Kennedy was providing constant updates on the work that he was doing to get these additional road repair, street repair, infrastructure repair funds in the budget. Senator Kennedy, again, I want to commend you. You told me how you were fighting for this money. Not only did you fight for this money, but you won, you got it done, and we're greatly appreciative in Buffalo. Now I want to ask the Commissioner of Public Works, who has been working diligent with me and other members of the administration to prepare what we call the People's Infrastructure Agenda, listening to residents in every single section of the city of Buffalo about the kind of infrastructure repairs, street repairs that are needed. We have a ready-to-go list of shovel-ready projects, over $300 million, that hopefully when the Biden American Jobs Plan is passed, we will be able to move these repairs forward in Buffalo. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Senator Kennedy. This is a great day for transportation officials. CHIPS funding is the gold standard of funding for transportation officials, whether you're a commissioner, a town engineer, a highway superintendent, whatever village, town you represent. CHIPS funding is the most flexible and best type of funding for any transportation official, because the amount of work that we can do with it, the type of work, there's very few strings. Really what CHIPS is about is just improving roadways, maintaining quality of life all across our state. For the city of Buffalo, the majority of our CHIPS, Pave New York, and Extreme Winter Recovery Funds is used as part of our annual resurfacing program. Just around the corner from where we are today, we've started work on East Ferry Street, and the crew is working on Maston Avenue, doing resurfacing in parts of our city. The touring route program that's new to to the state is 4 roads that have a number assigned to them. The touring routes go all across the state. Route 5, Route 263 is Delaware Avenue, I believe. Route 62, Bailey and South Park. When those cross jurisdictional lines, especially into cities, they become the responsibility of the local government, whereas in the suburbs, they're the state's responsibility. In the mid-2000s, a lot of funding was put into touring routes in suburban and rural villages. They did routes like East Aurora and Hamburg saw improvements. What Senator Kennedy recognized is that it was the city's turn now to see improvements like those, so we can do major reconstruction projects like we've done on roads like Niagara Street, what's coming on Main Street, as well as others across the city. So I want to again thank the senator for his leadership, all his hard work, the mayor for his leadership, and the rest of our administration, and we'll continue to deliver all of the projects that we have on the mayor's transportation infrastructure agenda and improve quality of life all across the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll open it up to any questions you may have. Yeah, 100%. The expectation is, because this is a new program, this will be a year-to-year increase for the city of Buffalo and other cities like it across New York State. The program CHIPS and Pave New York and Bridge New York and Extreme Winter Recovery and now city touring routes are embedded into the state budget. So we would actually have to go in and remove that entire program and the funding behind it in order to remove this funding. So the expectation is that this will be a perpetual program into the future for the city of Buffalo and other cities across the state. Yeah. Yeah, I think the commissioner spoke to that exact question, Steve, but I'll just reiterate it. You know, due to the equation that was made down in Albany years ago, once you get to a city line on a state route, be it 62 South Park Avenue or Delaware Avenue or Niagara Street or a number of others in the city of Buffalo, the funding equation actually stops. And so what has transpired is when you get to the city line, you see an automatic change in the maintenance of those roads. And because the city of Buffalo and other urban communities across the state have seen a decrease in their tax base for many different reasons over the course of decades, it's led to a lack of that ability to invest in the roads properly like the state has in the suburbs. Now the state is prioritizing city routes the way it ought to and the way it should has for the last several decades. We're just making it a priority as a Democratic conference. That's exactly correct. In the past, the city's been asked to take care of state routes when the state ended its funding at the city line. That's no longer the case. This is going to inject funds directly into the city of Buffalo and other cities across New York State, the way the state should have rightfully been doing over the course of the last several decades.
Good roads, good infrastructure is very important to business recruitment and business retention in our community. With some of the economic development projects that we've seen over the years and currently, one of the things that we've been asked to do is invest in roads and infrastructure. So this additional money coming from the state through the work of Senator Kennedy will give us a greater ability to sell the city for economic development and job creation. So this is critically important to our economic development and job creation efforts.
I'll just say a long time, but The reason that we, myself and the mayor and the rest of our administration put together the People's Transportation Infrastructure Agenda was to put down the list of shovel-ready projects, knowing that stimulus funds were being talked about at the time, are still being talked about, we're still very supportive of. We wanted everyone to understand how great the need was in the city of Buffalo, and frankly, cities like Buffalo have the same, you could make the same list in any Rust Belt city. So we are hopeful and looking forward to an influx of funding, because there's the need in our city is a lot. Thank you.